If you're frustrated because you've been doing all the manifestation work, visualizing, affirming, setting intentions, yet you're still stuck in the same reality, I need you to hear this. It's not your fault, and it's not because manifestation doesn't work. The problem is that you've been trying to create from the wrong level of consciousness. While your conscious mind has been desperately wanting change, your subconscious identity has been quietly, powerfully creating the same patterns over and over again. Here's the truth that no one talks about. Your conscious desires represent maybe 5% of your creative power, while your subconscious identity controls the other 95%. So when you say you want abundance, but your subconscious believes people like me struggle with money, guess which program wins? When you visualize perfect love, but your deeper identity whispers, I'm not worthy of real connection, which frequency do you think the universe responds to? Your subconscious identity has been the silent architect of your reality all along, and until you understand how to work with it instead of against it, you'll keep experiencing that maddening gap between what you want and what you're actually living. This is why subconscious reprogramming isn't just helpful for manifestation, it's absolutely essential. Identity and manifestation are inseparably connected at the deepest levels of your being, and when you learn to align them, everything changes. Not gradually, not eventually, but often immediately, because you're finally working with the full power of your consciousness instead of just a tiny fraction of it. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover exactly how your subconscious has been creating your current reality, why trying harder from the conscious level actually makes things worse, and most importantly, how to achieve true energetic alignment so that your deepest identity finally serves your highest vision. This isn't theory. This is the missing piece that transforms spiritual seekers into conscious creators. There's nothing more soul-crushing than looking around at your life and realizing it looks nothing like what you've been visualizing, affirming, and desperately trying to manifest for months or even years. You know exactly what you want. You can describe it in vivid detail. You feel the emotions of having it. You've created vision boards and written it down 1,000 times, yet your reality remains stubbornly unchanged. It's like being trapped in a cosmic joke, where the universe seems to be ignoring your requests completely, or worse, deliberately giving you the opposite of what you desire. This disconnect between what you consciously want and what you're actually experiencing is one of the most frustrating aspects of the manifestation journey, and it leaves most people questioning whether any of this spiritual stuff actually works. The frustration becomes even more intense when you realize you're doing everything the gurus tell you to do. You're visualizing daily, practicing gratitude, repeating affirmations, taking inspired action, raising your vibration. You're checking all the boxes that should theoretically create the life of your dreams. Yet here you are, still stuck in the same patterns, still attracting the same types of relationships, still struggling with the same financial limitations, still feeling unfulfilled in the same ways. It's enough to make you want to throw in the towel and accept that maybe manifestation is just wishful thinking dressed up in spiritual language. But what if I told you that the problem isn't with manifestation itself, it's with the level you're trying to create from? The truth is, you've been playing a game where only 5% of you is participating, while 95% of you is running a completely different program. Your conscious mind, the part that sets intentions and makes vision boards, represents just a tiny fraction of your creative power. The real architect of your reality is your subconscious mind, and it's been busy creating exactly what it believes you deserve, what it thinks is safe, and what matches your deepest sense of identity. This is why your life doesn't reflect what you say you want, because what you consciously say and what you subconsciously believe are two entirely different frequencies, and the quantum field always responds to your authentic energetic signature, not your practiced performance. Your subconscious mind is like an invisible architect working 24/7 to construct your reality, based on blueprints that were drawn up decades ago. While you've been consciously trying to manifest abundance, love, or success, your subconscious has been quietly organizing your experiences according to programs that were installed when you were a child, during traumatic experiences, or through years of repeated emotional patterns. These deep-rooted programs operate completely below the threshold of your awareness, yet they determine approximately 95% of your thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and ultimately, your manifestations. It's like having a computer virus that's running in the background, corrupting every new file you try to create, and you don't even know it's there. What makes this even more complex is that your subconscious doesn't think in words or logic. It thinks in emotions, images, and energy. It doesn't care about your vision board or your affirmations. It cares about what feels familiar, what feels safe, and what matches your core identity. If your subconscious identity was formed during experiences of scarcity, criticism, abandonment, or failure, then no matter how much you consciously desire abundance, love, or success, your internal programming will keep creating experiences that confirm your original wounds. This isn't your subconscious working against you. It's trying to protect you by maintaining consistency with what it knows, even if what it knows is limiting or painful. The revolutionary insight that changes everything is understanding that identity and manifestation are inseparably linked at the subconscious level. Your subconscious doesn't just store memories, it stores your sense of who you are, what you deserve, how the world works, and what's possible for someone like you. These deep identity programs act like an energetic magnet, attracting experiences that match your internal blueprint, while repelling experiences that conflict with your core beliefs about yourself. This is why subconscious reprogramming isn't just helpful for manifestation. It's absolutely essential. Until you align your subconscious identity with your conscious desires, you'll keep experiencing that frustrating gap between what you want and what you're actually creating. The most common manifestation mistake is trying to override your subconscious programming with conscious effort alone. It's like trying to change the course of a massive ship by paddling frantically in a tiny rowboat attached to its side. You might create some splashing and feel like you're doing something, but the ship is going to continue on its predetermined course because that's where the real power lies. Your conscious mind can want abundance all day long, but if your subconscious identity says, "People like me don't have money," or "I'm not worthy of wealth," or "Money is the root of all evil," then your subconscious will keep creating experiences that confirm these deeper beliefs, no matter how hard you try to think differently. This internal conflict creates what I call manifestation turbulence, where you're simultaneously trying to create something and unconsciously sabotaging it at the same time. You might find yourself taking steps toward your goals, only to mysteriously lose motivation, create distractions, or encounter obstacles that seem to come out of nowhere. You might attract opportunities that match your desires, only to talk yourself out of them, procrastinate until they disappear, or find reasons why they're not quite right. This isn't bad luck or lack of willpower. This is your subconscious identity protecting you from becoming someone you don't believe you can be. The exhausting part is that trying harder from the conscious level actually makes the problem worse, because it increases the internal tension between what you want and who you are. It's like pressing harder on the gas pedal while the parking brake is engaged. You'll just burn out your engine without going anywhere. True transformation requires working with your subconscious identity, not against it. Instead of trying to force yourself to believe something different, you need to gently guide your subconscious into a new sense of identity that naturally aligns with your desires. When your conscious wants and subconscious being are in harmony, manifestation becomes effortless because there's no internal resistance to overcome. The first step in subconscious reprogramming is becoming a detective in your own life, looking for clues about what programs are actually running beneath the surface. Your recurring patterns are like breadcrumbs leading back to your core beliefs, the same types of relationships, the same financial struggles, the same emotional reactions, the same self-sabotaging behaviors. These patterns aren't random, they're your subconscious identity, expressing itself through your experiences. Start by asking yourself, what story does my life seem to be telling about who I am and what I deserve? Look at your patterns without judgment, just with curiosity, because they're showing you exactly what your subconscious believes to be true. One powerful technique is to pay attention to your automatic thoughts during challenging moments. When something doesn't go your way, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? Is it, "Of course this happened to me," or "I should have known better," or "Nothing ever works out for me"? These automatic responses are direct quotes from your subconscious programming, and they're incredibly revealing about your deeper identity. Another way to access these hidden beliefs is through your emotional reactions. What situations trigger you the most? What fears feel the most real and immediate? Your strongest emotional responses are usually protecting your deepest wounds and core beliefs about yourself. You can also explore your beliefs by completing sentences like, "People like me," or "I could never," or "It's not safe for me to," without censoring yourself. Let whatever comes up be there, even if it surprises you or contradicts what you consciously believe. Remember, identity and manifestation work together at the subconscious level, so these hidden beliefs are literally the instructions your mind is using to create your reality. Once you start recognizing these patterns, you can begin the process of gently updating them. The goal isn't to judge yourself for having limiting beliefs. We all have them. The goal is to bring them into conscious awareness, so you can choose whether they still serve the person you're becoming. Subconscious reprogramming isn't about forcing yourself to believe something new. It's about creating such a compelling internal experience of your desired identity that your subconscious naturally begins to update its programs. Think of it like updating software on your computer. You can't just delete the old program and hope for the best. You need to install a new, better version that makes the old one obsolete. This process requires patience, consistency, and a deep understanding that you're not trying to convince your subconscious of anything. You're providing it with new evidence about who you are through repeated emotional experiences. One of the most effective techniques is what I call identity meditation. Instead of trying to quiet your mind, you actively choose the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs of your future self. Spend 15 to 20 minutes each day, not just visualizing what you want, but actually being the person who already has it. How do they think about themselves? What emotions do they feel regularly? What beliefs do they hold about their worth, their capabilities, their relationship with abundance? This isn't pretending or positive thinking. This is giving your nervous system repeated experiences of your new identity until it starts to feel familiar and safe. Your subconscious learns through repetition and emotion, so you're literally teaching it a new way of being through these practices. Another powerful approach is rewriting your internal dialogue. Notice the voice in your head, the constant commentary about yourself, your life, your possibilities, and consciously begin to speak to yourself the way your future self would. Instead of, "I never have enough money," try, "I'm learning to manage my abundance wisely." Instead of, "I always mess things up," try, "I'm becoming someone who handles challenges with grace and wisdom." This isn't about lying to yourself or forcing false positivity. It's about gradually shifting the narrative your subconscious uses to understand who you are. Remember, your internal dialogue is constantly programming your identity, so why not make it support your highest vision instead of your oldest wounds? True energetic alignment happens when your mind, emotions, and body are all broadcasting the same frequency, the frequency of your desired reality. Most people try to create alignment through mental effort alone, thinking that if they can just believe hard enough, everything else will follow. But the quantum field responds to your total energetic signature, which includes not just your thoughts, but your emotions, your posture, your breathing, your nervous system activation, and your overall way of being in the world. When all these elements are aligned with your desired identity, manifestation becomes inevitable because you're no longer creating from a place of wanting something you don't have. You're expressing something you already are. The key is learning to access the emotional state of your future self regularly, not just during meditation or visualization sessions, but as a baseline way of being. This means practicing feeling grateful for abundance before you see it in your bank account, feeling worthy of love before you meet your soulmate, feeling confident in your abilities before you have external proof of your success. This isn't about faking emotions or forcing positivity. It's about recognizing that these elevated emotional states are already available to you right now, regardless of your external circumstances. Your future self isn't feeling grateful because they have what they want. They have what they want because they naturally feel grateful. Identity and manifestation merge at the level of embodiment, where your new identity becomes so integrated that it affects everything: how you walk, how you speak, how you make decisions, how you respond to challenges. Start making choices throughout your day from your future self's perspective. When you're choosing what to wear, ask yourself, how would someone living my desired reality present themselves? When you're handling money, how would someone with an abundant mindset approach this transaction? When you're communicating with others, how would someone who knows their worth speak in this situation? These micro-embodiments might seem small, but they're constantly updating your energetic signature and teaching your subconscious that this new identity isn't just a fantasy. It's your lived reality. When your subconscious reprogramming starts to take hold, the first changes you'll notice are internal rather than external. You'll find yourself naturally thinking thoughts that align with your desired reality without having to force or remind yourself. Your emotional baseline will shift. You'll feel more peaceful, more confident, more optimistic, not because you're trying to be positive, but because these states are becoming your natural default. You'll catch yourself making decisions and responding to situations from your new identity automatically, without conscious effort. This is when you know the work is integrating at the deepest levels. Synchronicities become your compass during this phase, meaningful coincidences that feel like the universe is winking at you and confirming that you're on the right track. You might keep seeing certain numbers, running into people who offer exactly what you need, or finding resources and opportunities appearing just when you require them. These aren't random events. They're evidence that your internal energetic alignment is creating coherence in the field around you. When your subconscious identity shifts, your entire energy field reorganizes, and this attracts people, situations, and circumstances that match your new frequency. Pay attention to these synchronicities, not as proof of what's coming, but as feedback that your internal transformation is already affecting your external reality. People around you will start responding to you differently, often before you've made any obvious external changes. They're picking up on your new energy signature and treating you according to who you're becoming, not who you used to be. Some relationships might naturally dissolve as you outgrow old dynamics, while new people enter your life who resonate with your elevated frequency. Your relationship with challenges also shifts. Instead of feeling victimized by obstacles, you start seeing them as opportunities for growth or signs that you're expanding beyond your old comfort zone. This is perhaps the most powerful indicator that your identity and manifestation work is creating real transformation, when your default response to life becomes empowered rather than reactive. Most people live their entire lives in what I call default creation, unconsciously manifesting from old wounds, inherited beliefs, and societal programming without ever realizing they have the power to choose a different reality. They're creating constantly, but they're creating from limitation, fear, and scarcity, because that's what their subconscious identity knows how to do. Default creation keeps you stuck in the same patterns, attracting the same experiences, living the same story on repeat because you're operating from the same level of consciousness that created your current reality. But when you understand how subconscious reprogramming works, you can shift from default creation to divine creation, consciously choosing who you are and what you experience from your highest possibility. Divine creation happens when you take full responsibility for your energetic signature and deliberately align it with your soul's deepest desires. This isn't about controlling outcomes or forcing the universe to bend to your will. It's about becoming so aligned with your authentic self that your natural expression creates the reality you've always dreamed of. When you're creating from this place, manifestation doesn't feel like work because you're not trying to get something you don't have. You're simply allowing what's already yours to flow into your experience. This is the difference between begging the universe for scraps and recognizing yourself as a divine creator with infinite creative power. The journey from default to divine creation requires courage because it means taking full ownership of everything in your experience. No more blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck for what's showing up in your life. No more waiting for conditions to be perfect before you start embodying your highest self. No more small thinking about what's possible for someone like you. Energetic alignment at this level means recognizing that you are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are an expression of it. And when you align with your true nature, creating becomes as natural as breathing. Your subconscious identity finally serves your conscious vision, and the gap between who you are and what you experience completely disappears. So here's what I want you to understand. Every moment you spend frustrated about your current reality is a moment you could be using to reprogram the subconscious patterns that created it. Your subconscious identity isn't your enemy. It's been doing exactly what it was programmed to do, protecting you and keeping you consistent with what it believes to be true about who you are. But now that you understand how this works, you have the power to consciously upgrade these programs. Are you ready to stop creating from default and start creating from divinity? Are you willing to take full responsibility for the energetic signature you've been broadcasting and consciously choose to embody something higher? Because here's what I know. The moment you commit to subconscious reprogramming and true energetic alignment, your reality will begin shifting in ways that will amaze you. I want you to try this for the next week. Instead of focusing on what you want to manifest, focus entirely on who you want to become at the subconscious level. Notice your automatic thoughts, challenge your limiting beliefs, and most importantly, practice being the identity that naturally attracts what you desire. Watch how quickly your external world reorganizes when your internal world finally aligns. What's the deepest subconscious belief you're ready to transform right now? Share it in the comments because naming these patterns is the first step to changing them, and I want to support your breakthrough. And if you're serious about mastering identity and manifestation at the deepest levels, make sure you watch the video appearing on your screen, where I reveal the 3 most common subconscious blocks that keep spiritual seekers stuck in the same reality for years. Remember, you are not a victim of your subconscious programming, you are its conscious creator. Subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, and join me every week as we explore the deeper truths about consciousness and creation that most people never discover. Your subconscious is listening and it's ready to serve your highest vision. The question is, what identity are you going to feed it today?